Welcome to the 23rd Annual Schweiger Scholarship Dinner. It's humbling to think about how many lives have been impacted, careers launched, and relationships built through the Schweiger Scholarship Fund. Thank you to all of you here tonight and to those that could not be here who have contributed over the years. I'd like to recognize a couple of key supporters who could not be here tonight. David Pierce. David Pierce was our chief engineer. He lost a battle with pancreatic cancer this year. This is a picture of David with Cindy at a recent event. He had just decided to retire and was just getting used to spending time with his family when he was taken from us. He was a great engineer and an even better person. I'm sorry. Hal Pritchett. Hal Pritchett, many of you know, is the founder of the Oregon State CEM program and a legend in the construction industry, and he has been a supporter of this event from the very first moment we founded it. He's missed 3 times. He had a heart attack. He was on a dialysis machine, and he recently had a stroke. And Hal called me and apologized for not being able to be here. So, could you join me in a moment of silence to remember David and send our prayers to Hal? Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Sorry about that. I'll quit doing that. I want to talk a little bit about our selection committee and the process that we use to pick the scholarship winners. You can see a list of the selection committee members on the screen. If you're trying to develop a list of who's who in the construction industry, you'd have a really tough time getting a more impressive list than our selection committee. There's a really wide variety of backgrounds, opinions, and ideas about what is important in ranking applicants. In order to review the applicants, each of the committee members independently spend a couple of days reviewing the material. They each provide a ranking of each of this year's 38 applicants that applied and submitted all the material they needed to qualify. The rankings are put into a spreadsheet and the raw numbers are added up, and every single one of our winners this year were picked without any adjustments by just looking at the pure numbers from the selection committee. And the point of all that is every single person that wins here tonight earned their award and deserve the recognition they're getting. None of them were granted any kind of preference or adjustment or a lot of the things you see being done in a lot of different institutions these days. That these people earned everything they get. This year's winners are the largest number of scholarships and award amounts in our history. It's also the most unique set of backgrounds and incredible life stories we've ever had. I think every committee member will tell you that there were times when they were incredibly inspired and times that they cried reading these stories. I know you will leave here tonight energized and believing that the future of the construction industry is bright and improving and will be left in good hands. I wish I could say the same thing about our country and our state. I'm an avid follower of state and federal politics, and our current situation is at a critical tipping point. The sheer number of illogical and destructive policies forced on us by our government is mind-boggling. COVID was just the start. If you've driven through Portland today, you saw garbage, graffiti on everything, including our highway traffic signs, a complete breakdown of civilization, people crapping in the streets, rampant drug use, lawlessness, complete lack of support for our police. Oregon ranks second to California in the number of days our school closed due to COVID, causing irreparable damage to our already failing school system. At the same time, government coffers are overflowing with money from COVID relief programs and multiple tax increases. Our federal and state government is obsessed with promoting and subsidizing green energy while punishing and unfairly regulating companies that provide cost-effective energy that works, actually works. Last year, the Oregon legislature strongly considered banning the sale of diesel in Oregon starting in 2025. Look around you, take a really good hard look at all the equipment you see here and on the water, and tell me how in the hell you could ban diesel in 2025 and not destroy our state. But they thought about it, and they were only a couple, 3 votes away from getting it. Is it any wonder that gas, diesel, natural gas prices are spiraling out of control, fueling inflation and threatening our way of life? The railroad tracks that you drove over to get into our facility here has a gas pipeline that runs next to it. The huge majority of gas, diesel, and aviation fuel that services this area comes through that one pipeline from Seattle, because Oregon doesn't have a single refinery, and anybody who tried to build one would tell you that there's no way in hell they're ever going to build one here. If that pipeline were disabled for any length of time, our economy would come to a complete standstill. I'm going to stop there because if I kept going, I would go from being emotional to really pissed off. So I've got a really simple request for you. Would you please put in the kind of work that our selection committee did in reading the applicants and putting thought and time into trying to figure out what they are? And put that kind of energy into and effort into doing your own independent research on candidates for all levels of government this November. Don't listen to anyone, me included, especially cable news, social media, newspaper, the polls, political parties, or make your decisions based on who has the best ads. In today's world, it's essential that you do your own research by reading everything you can find about the issues and candidates. After you're satisfied that you've had enough data, then and only then support and vote for candidates that represent your values and ideas about what our state and our country should be doing. I know it sounds simple, but it's not. The days of checking out or turning politics off are over. In the construction industry, we are overloaded with people who are so disgusted by what's going on, they don't want to be engaged, they don't want to be involved in it, and they're not paying attention. We are under threat every day, and it's getting worse. Elections have consequences. If you're not convinced, take a drive through Portland on your way home and take a good hard look and see if that's what you want for our future, or do you want to do something about it?